Welcome to a new Triggre Weekend Masterclass, the coolest video before your weekend starts. So today I'm going to extend another template. In this case, it is Data Diana. And Data Diana is a template to visualize data and to enrich data, show it on a dashboard, etc. So what we see here is, in this case, we're talking about a monthly production. It has to be approved, but we've got coal and we've got copper and input in tons, output in tons, and waste in tons. You have to review it and mark it as reviewed. And you can see it on a dashboard, how that goes over time. So Data Diana is just like an example, how you can use Triggre to process a lot of data or a lot of data points, and that can be, in this case, orders or incoming goods, but it can also be, for instance, smart devices like temperature in a container which is sent every hour or every 2 days or whatever. That's the whole purpose of this template. What did I do? I created an extension. So we have, in this case, incoming coal and copper, and it turns into waste and an output. And I would like to link estimations to that. So we've received that information from a different application via, for instance, an API, but it could also be in Excel. We would like to create an estimation for management reporting, like, hey, we expect 200 tons of copper in month X and 100 tons of coal in month Y, so that we can see, like, hey, are we meeting our goals, and how to visualize that. So in this case, we have, you can enter a new estimation. So I've got all the months that I haven't entered in an estimation yet. So for instance, I can say, like, okay, we've got coal, amount of tons, 100. I can add another estimation, for instance, 150. Also for this one, let's say 200 of coal and only 50 of copper. I entered some estimations, and what I would like to see now is, how does my production link to my estimations? So we've got the new monthly production. I would like to mark it as reviewed because I only want to set it against reviewed production, because if it's not reviewed yet, the graph can go anywhere. If it's rejected, well, that's not what I want to see. So I'm going to mark some items as reviewed. And then you will see a graph throughout all the months, and you can see that here we're 5 short of the estimation for copper, which is the green one. If I click on coal, it will be removed from the graph. So it's -5 for copper, and after that it's +55 for copper. And then with coal, it's exactly the other way around. You can see the data on the right side, which is used, to calculate this, so the estimation and differences. And what I also created is that you can select your product and you can choose none, one, or more to filter your results. So if I would choose only copper, 2 things happen. The graph will only show copper, as you can see here, but the table will also only show copper. And I can even add an additional month to that. So if I would only choose, in this case, January 2020, the table will change accordingly and the graph will change accordingly as well. If I add coal, as you can see, we only see the data of that specific month for these 2 products. In this case, I only have 2 products, but if I would remove all the filters, it will show whatever, the filter is based upon. So this is a very nice way, I think, to create your own dashboarding, which meets your specific needs, because you can filter the dashboard easily yourself. How did I create this in the designer? Well, let me show you. I'm not going to show you how you calculate the estimations and the actuals, because that's fairly simple. You divide, you subtract one from the other. But I am going to show you how the graphs and the filters on the graphs work. So we have a page there with the graph, and Triggre always works from left to right and from top to bottom. So that means that if I want to show this table based on specific form fields, the form fields need to be on the left side and the table on the right side. If I would do the other way around, it's impossible to change the content of the table based on the form fields. And we do that purposely at Triggre to prevent like a circular calculation where you calculate one based on the other and the other based on one again, and well, it can keep on going that indefinitely. The form fields are the form fields, so there's no filters there. It's fairly easy. We've got a product, you can select one or more, that's it. The same goes for the month. The magic happens at the graph and the table. Well, the graph has the same filter as the table, so I'm only going to show one of them because you just apply them to both of them. So what we do is we apply a filter, and what we state here is based on the selection you made on the left side. So, and this is always a little bit complicated. I always have to think 2 or 3 times like, okay, how do I need to do that? So we have the product, and the filter is, the product is empty, so I haven't selected anything. Or if I've selected one, or any, let's put it like that. If I've selected any, I want to filter it on list that I've created, one or more, based on the product of the monthly estimation. So the filter is or there's none selected, and if there's one or more selected, I select on that specific list. And I need to do that for the month as well, of course. So the month is empty, or the month is not empty, and the list contains the month of the data. The brackets here are very important. So that's something we created a different masterclass about that. Please watch that first when you start for this. The brackets are really important to know how to use them, because that can really change the outcome of what you see in your table. We also have a post on that on our community. But in this way, a user can select their own criteria to visualize the data that's in the system. I hope you like this video. Like this video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week.